Okay, let's see if this works. Can anybody hear me? There we go. All right. Let me check this and see if this is working on YouTube. All right. Can anybody see me? Hear me? Let's see here. There we go. There's the chat. Is this working? I hope. 3 viewers. Maybe we've got it figured out. Let's see here, though. I bet. Whoops. Hold on, guys. I'm getting there. There we go. Hey. All right. Is this any better? Hold on, guys. I'm getting there. There we go. All right. Hold on. All right. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Well, that's not going to do me any good. Okay. Is that better now? Hi, Susan. Hi, TJs. Hi, Pickers. How's it going, guys? All right. Is this better now? I think we're good. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. So that being said, it's definitely an issue with the program interacting with my computer or my internet service or whatever. So I am going to ditch that old program and I'm going to start going with Google Hangouts from now on. So if this is working out well for everybody else, then this is what we're going to do. So now I'm excited. Okay, perfect. All right. Back on track. Hello, everybody. Hey, y'all. How's it going? I'm glad that y'all are here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And hey, moderators, everything looking good on y'all's ends? Audio, video, everything's good? Copacetic? I know there's probably still a little bit of a delay, but as long as there isn't any buffering, then that's okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get with it. So talking about the chickens, basically they used to be free ranging and now they're not. They have been grounded indefinitely because they've decided to get, how shall I say, brave about exploring. And they didn't stay in the yard. They didn't stay on our property. They started out just being in the center part of our yard. And that was wonderful because if I were in the house, I could look out the window and I could see them. And then they got to where they were going into the horse pasture, which again, is fine as long as that's where they were staying, and then coming back across the yard and then back over into their area. But Monday, Hannah and I were out doing the evening chores and feeding and watering the big animals. And we had gone into Buster's pen, which, as you guys know, is our miniature horse. We had gone into his pen and had seen 3 of our pullets over in the far corner of his lot, which it butts up against this abandoned property. I don't want to say abandoned, but overrun with brush and weeds and all kinds of nonsense. So anyway, they were right on the edge of the property, and we tried to kind of corral them and shoo them back off into the pasture and into our property. And they decided, because they're chickens and they're stupid, that they would go through the fence into the other property. So we went over into the other property, had to drive all the way down to the end of our property, down the road, around the corner, back up into that other property just to get into it. And anyway, long story short, we couldn't find them. And so I had hoped that they would find their way back into our property, and that by the time roosting was up and it was time to close everybody in, that they would be there. And they weren't. So we ended up going back over into the property again, and we did find one of the pullets, but the other 2 were missing. And we found a little cluster of feathers from one of my silver-laced Wyandottes. And so I can only imagine that something happened to her, something got a hold of her. So we managed to get a hold of the buff pullet and get her brought over to the property and shut her up in the chicken coop with the others. But we ended up losing the other 2 indefinitely, I'm assuming at this point. So that makes a grand total of 4 pullets that I've lost in the course of having them this year, which I guess in the scheme of things isn't much, but 4 is 4 too many as far as I'm concerned. And so we're not going to allow them to free range anymore. We are in the process of building another chicken coop, a second chicken coop, and a chicken tractor, and figuring out how to, you know, I don't know. We're going to get them sorted out, and they're going to have to stay cooped up. I mean, that's all there is to it. And I hate that for them, but I hate worse than death thinking of the idea that they're going off into that other property and they're getting eaten by something. I mean, there is something getting a hold of them. So anyway, so it's not the end of the world. I mean, obviously, that's life on the farm, and things happen, and you do what you got to do to make sure that it doesn't happen again. So lesson learned. And no more free range girls. We will get the chicken tractor up and going, and I'm so sorry, guys. Quite possibly, let me get this so that it doesn't. All right. So anyway, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, I do too, Lori. But anyway, we may end up just having a few different chicken tractors and just letting the chickens, you know, sorting them out into some kind of a fashion that gives them a clear path throughout the property and letting them range that way. And, you know, I mean, that's not a bad thing. It's still getting the opportunity to do all of the free range stuff that chickens do without the possibility of a hawk swooping down and getting them, or a fox taking off with them, or whatever it is. So that's that. So that's that wonderful and horrible, horrible thing. So, which of course, you know, that kind of made me feel a little bad, a lot bad. And, you know, it kind of ran me down a little bit. But, you know, one thing that you got to do is just pick yourself back up and carry on, right? So, moving along. So, aside from the chicken fiascos, hey, how's it going, Tim? You snuck in, friend. Aside from the chicken fiasco, the garden has been doing really well, except for the last couple of days. We've had rain pretty regular, and which I think is absolutely wonderful. I'm super excited because last month our water bill had doubled because we had been trying to keep up with watering the garden. So I'm really glad that it's been raining. That's kept us from having to water. So that's keeping the water bill down. We do have a rain catchment barrel, but we don't have a really good system for it yet, and that's something that is definitely on our list of projects. But the situation with the chickens has kind of progressed that to the front of the line, you know, so they're not going to be able to live in the greenhouse forever. So we've got to get this other coop and the tractor built. That's our priority. So, but at some point, we really want to have a good irrigation system set up. We want to have a really good water catchment system set up. We're talking about putting a couple of rain barrels on either end of the greenhouse, and maybe one on the chicken coop, and a couple on the back end of our house. So, you know, there are various spots that we can put something, and we're looking at that, you know, looking at those options and taking notes. So Kelly says, I was envious of you picking berries. Here in the Canadian prairies, we don't have much berry and fruit picking. Oh, man, that really is a bummer, Kelly. It was actually a lot of fun. It's a really nice farm that's not too far away, maybe 30 minutes drive. And they have some pretty fabulous berries, which actually, so of course I picked, I don't know, a couple gallons worth of blackberries and half to 3/4 of a gallon of blueberries. And so I've kind of got berries coming out my ears this week. And so of course this is one of the things that I've done. Is it going to show up for you? There you go. Blackberry jam. So, and I've got another batch left to do, and then another batch of blueberry jam, and so that'll be fun. And I'm actually going to be taking these jars to our Christmas in July craft fair that I have coming up on the 15th, which if you guys have seen Hope's Homestead video, she talks about going to the Christmas in July craft fair. So I'm really excited to get to see her again and spend some time visiting with her and see the rabbits, because she's bringing rabbits. And so that'll be a lot of fun. Lori, you really, really should just make a trip up that weekend. You know, I'm just saying, if you wanted to, you know, you've probably got a place to stay. You know, I'm just saying. So, yeah, Tim, I hear you. Kelly, I would think that that would be kind of a shock to go from a place where you're used to getting fruit and berries to nothing at all, huh? I'm sorry about that. That's kind of a bummer. Can we legally catch rainwater? Tim, the wonderful thing about living in East Tennessee is that these folks really and truly believe if you're not hurting anybody and you're doing it on your own property, then it's cool. So when it comes to catching rainwater, I can use it on the garden and I can use it for the animals. even aside from all of the laws in other states, you can use it for watering your garden and your animals. So I guess I couldn't say that I know the laws about all the other states, but as far as I'm understanding, you can use rainwater for gardens and animals. So, but anyway, Suburban says go Vols. I am not there. I am from Oklahoma, and I am an Oklahoma girl at heart, so I gotta scream Boomer Sooners, baby. I appreciate how dedicated all these folks are to the Vols. That's one good thing about having only one really good college baseball or college football team. But you know, it's funny because back home there are two, right? There's the Oklahoma Sooners, and then there's the Oklahoma State Cowboys. And you can't be both. You have to be one or the other. I mean, that's just a law. You have to be one of the other. And, you know, I had thought when we were moving out here, you know, the wonderful thing about coming this way is that I would get away from all of that puke orange. Well, you know, I should have done my research and found that the Volunteers' color is orange, because I would have known that not only was I coming to another state that would have orange, but would have it in spades, because it's the only school colors they've got here. So now the song actually is very catchy. I admit that I do love Rocky Top. And you know, I think that the longer we're here, you know, I've been known to catch a Vols game when I've seen it on TV or whatever. And, you know, I'm all for supporting the Vols as long as they're not playing my boys. But if they're playing my boys, then it's on like Donkey Kong and there's no holds barred, okay? So I'm going to have to just say, go Vols, as long as you're not playing the Sooners. All right. I'm from Virginia and I never moved. I'm not a quitter. Well, so here's the thing. I'm from Oklahoma. My husband's from Wichita, Kansas, which is, you know, 45 minutes from my hometown, somewhere in there. And but we came out here on vacation and absolutely loved it. And so we figured, you know, we'd go home, put the house up for sale, and if it sold, that was God telling us to pack up and move. Well, the house was gone in less than 30 days. So we ended up in a hustle to get out here, and it was crazy. So, and to be honest, the absolute only bad thing about being out here is that our family is so far away. You know, we absolutely love it here. We love it. So we're super stoked to be here. But okay, so I've gotten derailed entirely talking about Rocky Top. All right. Oh, goodness. Have a good night, Four Hearts. See you later. Thank you for coming out. Okay, so how is the video, guys? Is the buffering gone down to a minimum? Is this way working a lot better for us? I hope. Okay. So, you know, we talked about the berry patch just a little bit, and picking berries and whatnot, and making berry jams for this craft fair that's coming up. I'm actually going to be doing a lot of my homemade Amish bread, which if you guys haven't already seen, I actually have a video on our channel that walks you through the steps of how to do the Amish bread, and it is wonderful stuff. It's very easy to do, and it's good stuff. So, hey, I am really glad to know that the buffering is gone. So this is the way we're going to do video from now on. I love it. Okay, great. So anyway, we actually have two booth spots. Matt is going to be running his side that has his welding work, horseshoe stuff, our arts and crafts things. And then And then the other side of our booth is going to be the home baked goods. Is that the stuff in the bag that sits on the counter? What are you talking about, Melissa? Is that the stuff in the bag that sits on the counter? Is the Amish bread? Oh, no. No, the Amish bread is a really simple recipe. It's what, flour, sugar, little oil, little water, and some yeast, and a pinch of salt. Very simple. And no, it's not the one in a bag. You guys really want to check out the recipe. Actually, if maybe one of my moderators can find the link to the video and put it in here. Yeah, it is actually very simple and it's really good. The simple recipe on that video makes 2 loaves of bread, so bear that in mind when you make it. There's going to be one for now and one for later. And I happen to know that if you wrap the bread in plastic wrap and then wrap it again in aluminum foil and stick it in the freezer, it freezes really well. And then when you're ready to use it, just pull it out, set it on the counter, and let it thaw completely, and then you're golden. So it freezes well, it thaws well, it eats well. So it's good stuff. And I would say that the cost of it is, you know, I don't know, maybe 75 cents to $1 for the whole recipe for 2 loaves of bread. So when you're talking about money saving, you know, we've talked a little about couponing and things like that here on the homestead. And this is one of the ways that we save money, because, you know, bread can get to be expensive, a couple dollars per loaf. You know, I'm talking about $1, less than $1 for 2 loaves of bread. So, you know, it's good stuff. Thank you so much, Lori. There it is. So, but anyway, I'll be having some bread there. I actually have come up with a cinnamon and cinnamon raisin bread as well, and that stuff is amazing. And so I'll be having the regular bread, the cinnamon raisin breads. I may do a pumpkin bread and a banana bread, and then yeah, Tim, I know it. I think Jonathan gave up on me earlier when I was having buffering trouble. So, but anyway, so I'll have the breads, and then I'm going to have some jams and jellies there also. And so that'll be on my side of the booth. So I'm hoping that it goes well, and I'm sure that it will. And yeah, cinnamon raisin bread is amazing. It's good stuff. So Tim, if you weren't such a character, I'd make you a mod, but Lord only knows what we'd get then, huh? Okay, so let's see. Christmas in July we talked about. The garden update. Oh, the garden. The shining light in this week of terror with the chickens. We've been able to start harvesting quite a bit of stuff this week. I say start like we haven't been already, but this week has been especially good. Right here, he sits right on top of the printer, right next to the computer, just to make sure that there's nothing going on. But we've been harvesting cucumbers and tomatoes, lettuce, cabbage, beans and peas, and strawberries, of course. And let's see. Cucumbers, zucchinis. Oh, I had been collecting some zucchinis. I've gotten maybe, no, he wouldn't steal it. I want to say 5 zucchinis from this one zucchini plant. And I had only planted one because zucchini is something that that I've had experience with tasting, but my family not so much. And so I wanted to introduce it to them slow, and if they don't like it, then, you know, I don't have this overabundance of something that I'm not going to be able to get rid of, because I don't eat enough of it to warrant more than one plant. And if they don't like it, you know. So, but the one plant did really, really well. But I think that boars got a hold of it, and it's kind of gone to, but at least I got 5 zucchinis from it before that happened. So I've since gone ahead and ripped it out of the garden so that it doesn't spread its little boogers to other plants. And so now the cucumbers are coming in quite a bit, which is good because Hannah absolutely loves the pickles. And so we'll be doing some pickles soon. And so that'll be fun. The tomatoes are starting to really get some good fruits on them, and they're starting to turn color, so that's good. My Roma tomatoes are really, really doing well. They are serious overachievers. My Roma tomatoes are, I mean, huge, which is wonderful. I actually am going to try the fried zucchini. I want to do zucchini fries. I saw a recipe for battered and baked zucchini fries, so I want to try that. What's Maria? What's Maria, Tim? Oh, yeah, you'll have stuff to pick soon if you've got the flowers going. So anyway, let's see. I have a feeling that the rest of the zucchini no, you didn't. You didn't tell me about that cookbook. Um, oh, boogers. Those tomatoes, I'm pretty sure they're all waiting until the very last minute to produce and ripen fruit all at the same time. So I will have a couple of stragglers of tomatoes here and there, and then at some point very soon I'm going to have an overabundance like now. I'm sure that's the way it's going to go. So, but anyway, the garden's looking good. The weeds are overgrowing it, which is absolutely ridiculous. I hate weeds. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. But we're plugging along as best we can. And as soon as things are getting harvested, as soon as things are dying off, we're going to be working in the garden a little better. You guys know this is the first year for this garden, so we still want to stick true to the Back to Eden method. So we're going to be putting down some cardboard, which we did not do before. If you guys remember when we started the garden in the first place, we just laid the mulch down. We didn't have enough of the cardboard. We didn't even think about putting cardboard down, like duh. So anyway, hey Daleth, how's it going? So as things are dying off, as we're harvesting things and clearing them out of the garden, we're going ahead and laying the next foundation for the next season's crops. So we'll be putting down our cardboard. We're going to be piling it up with mulch again so that it has time to break down for spring again. We are probably not going to do fall planting. That's actually the next thing that I was wanting to talk about. The thing is that I would really like to focus on getting the garden ready for springtime, and I can spend my time better in the fall doing these craft fairs. And so if I've got a fall garden and I'm having to worry about keeping it weeded and keeping the bugs away and all of this other stuff, because we are still 100% organic, And let me tell you, 100% organic is so much work. It is so much work. We are constantly out there plucking cabbage worms and all kinds of stupid stuff. It makes me crazy. You know, I remember looking out in the yard and you see those little white butterflies and you go, oh, they're so cute. I love springtime. They are the spawn of Satan. They are the spawn of Satan. They bring those stupid little cabbage worms. I hate them. They are absolutely the spawn of Satan. I detest them now. I don't see anything cute about them at all now. I see like little horns and flaming red faces and cackling laughs of, ha 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 ha, I'm tearing up your garden. Anyway. Yes. Yeah, organic gardening, it really is an awful lot of work. You know, I knew that it would be work. Gardening in general is work, but keeping it organic is really tough. I want so bad to lay out some 7 dust and you know, just tear it up. But you know, I'm resisting the urge. Yes, absolutely. Aphids are their minions. You are 100% right. So you know, I'm out there, I'm plucking cabbage worms, and you know what? These chickens, they don't do their jobs either, because I'll toss one of those cabbage worms out into the yard right in front of that chicken. She will look at it like, oh, what's this? Huh, I don't want that, and then walk away. And so then I'm out there, you know, looking for it so that I can smush it into the ground so that it doesn't creep its way back into my garden. You know, like they're not even doing their job. So anyway, they're a couple of weeks shy of starting to lay. So they better hurry up and get on it, because that might very well be their only saving grace. You know, Donna, I hear that. Actually, I think it may be time to cut back on the grain, you know, make them forage for it. But yeah, absolutely. I think y'all are right. So, but anyway, so there's that. So we're out there, we're plucking cabbage worms, and we're smushing the aphids, and it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, I'm struggling through this season, and we're going to try really hard to salvage what we can salvage in the garden. And so far, we're doing okay. I mean, I've got a couple of cabbage heads out there that are getting close to time to pull out. The broccoli is not done so well, and the Brussels sprouts, we're still waiting to see. The broccoli was absolutely decimated by those things. I mean, they just ate them up. I've gotten a couple of heads of broccoli, but they've really just not done so good. But, and of course the cabbage is a continuous struggle. I mean, they're just chewing them up. But the strawberries are doing well. I'm looking out the window at the garden to remind myself, if you're wondering what I'm looking at. The strawberries are doing well. The beans and peas are doing all right. Actually, the peas are doing really good. You guys know from the last stream that Hannah realized or learned how much fun it is to take some snap peas right off the vine in the garden and pop them in your mouth. So now every time we go out there, she asks if she can have one. So I'm really excited about that. That's the whole point and purpose of struggling with this organic gardening, is so that she has the ability to do that. So no, worms do not taste good, Tim. I try really hard not to. You started your gardens late. Well, you know, I mean, the only thing you're going to have to worry about with them being late is the heat. You know, maybe you can put some shade cloth over your garden and then it'll be just fine. I mean, you guys have warm season for a considerable amount of time, so that's not going to be an issue. It'll just be the squelching heat burning down on it. Tim, I'm with you. My weeds are doing really good too. It's ridiculous. But hello, are you coming to join us? He comes in here and he doesn't want to join us. Yeah, I would definitely do some shade cloth, Lori. That would help you out tremendously. Rob uses shade cloth in Arizona, and he has a lot of really good result from it. Huh? Do what? I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. Huh? Okay. I'm sorry. Hold on a second, guys. Do what? Oh, I'm sorry. It's gonna have the milk fat on it. If not, you may have to put one on the freezer. Yeah, true story. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Tim says, speak up. Thursday is Matthew's day to cook because Thursday is my super, super busy day. And so he's asking questions about stuff for cooking. You two need to be good and keep it Disney. Okay, so anyway, the garden. One last thing that I wanted to touch on about the garden is that two things, actually, sorry. One, the loofah that we planted, it's the first time I've ever grown loofah, and it is absolutely wonderful. I love it. It's doing really well. And I've even seen some loofah gourds growing, coming in, so that's really good. So the other thing, I can't be Mr. Walt. Maybe I should leave. Grizz, just make sure you keep it PG, my friend. We've got kids that see this stuff. So nice to see you, by the way. Yes, dear. They'll. No, I'm not. I can't do that right now. You're gonna have to go away. Okay. I'm so sorry, guys. I tried to get him to stay, and he's busy. Okay, so the loofah are doing really good, and I'm super excited about that because this is the first time that we've ever grown loofah. So I have absolutely zero idea what I'm doing with them, and if it's black and the smoke detector is going off, it's done. Hopefully before then. But anyway, the couple of loofah gourds that I've seen coming in are pretty cool looking, and we still have not got it on the trellis yet, and so I'm having to go out and kind of keep the vines corralled because yes, they are really invasive. So you know we've got to get that trellis up because it's getting real. But excuse me, guys. The other thing is that our Big Mac's pumpkin, that's what they're called, for the Go for Green Living pumpkin challenge is really growing. And I'm not going to say too much more about that just yet because I'm going to be doing an update video in the next couple of days. But it's pretty exciting. I am stoked about that, like really excited. So there's that. The pumpkins that I planted for the Whistle Thicket Challenge, they are already up and going and ready to go into the ground. I've been hardening them off for the last couple of days, and I should be getting them into the ground, I would say by the weekend, if not definitely during the weekend. They're already getting a few sets of leaves on them, and they're doing really, really well. So there's that. See you later, Suburban. Thanks for coming out. Have a good night. So anyway, if you guys haven't heard about the pumpkin challenges, which I'm sure that you all have by now, you can check the videos out on our channel. Check out Go for Green Living. Check out Whistle Thicket's channel and find out who all's involved in those challenges, and check out their videos too, because there are some really fun and interesting videos out there. And there may be a little bit of smack talk going on too. So, you know, I'm just going to say. See you later, Grizz. Have a good night. Thanks so much for coming by. So there's that. Another thing that I'm thinking about doing a little bit of video on. I finally planted seeds last week, too late to join. For the pumpkin challenge, no. The deadline for the pumpkin challenge is October 15th-ish. So let's see, it's roughly 120 days for germination, germination to harvest, I think, ish, for the giant pumpkins. So what, 4 months? So if you've got them in the ground now, they should be ready about the time for Halloween anyways. So they'll at least be big enough to measure, I would say, by then. So yeah, go ahead and enter. Hey Sal, how's it going? So anyway, there's that. Yeah, ish. Ish is a big word, like 3 times over in the chat right there. But yeah, ish, 120-ish. So anyway, I'm really excited to see everybody else's pumpkins on there. I know that Go for Green Living has Eric from Life and Farmland, Melanie from Road to the Farm. I don't know if Gilbert Farm is in it again or not, but there are quite a few others. And then Whistle Thicket has folks like Whimsical Wonder Farm, has Hewitt Homestead, and AZ Farms, Passionate Gardener, all kinds of other folks in there. And I am telling y'all, man, Devin over at Hewitt Homestead is really laying the smack down. Y'all got to check out his videos because he is on it. He is on it. So anyway, it's been a lot of fun. It's actually a whole lot of fun. We do it all in play and good sportsmanship, and everybody really wants to see everybody else do well, of course, but anyway, it's a lot of fun to follow along with everybody. So if you guys haven't already been checking out those videos, you think he came over and sprayed something on your pumpkins? I don't think so, but but anyway, you guys really want to check them out because the videos have been absolutely wonderful. And while you're watching the videos, check out the comments too, because I'm telling you, you're hearing and seeing some serious smack talk. So ha ha ha, I can come pray, but not sure if your pumpkins are Jewish. That is awesome. Yeah, he really does want to win. He's not going to, though, because, I'm going to win. But anyway. So, okay, there's the pumpkin challenge. Just for an update for you guys, because I love y'all. Another thing that's coming up for me personally, it doesn't just involve me. It actually involves a whole nother group of folks with a whole nother, let's say, genre of focus. You guys know that I spin my own yarn, And I'm actually working on some fiber for Lori right now. But there's this thing coming up, an event, I'll call it. It's called Tour de Fleece. And if you guys know that the Tour de France is getting ready to kick off, which is the big bike trek across France, and I actually don't know a whole lot about, that event, but the Tour de Fleece happens in conjunction with that event. So it starts on July 1st and it ends on the 23rd. And basically, it's just a way for yarn spinners, fiber preppers to kind of get together and not really challenge each other per se, but to encourage and support each other in the fiber arts, to try new things, to practice techniques, to get better with their skill and to get some experience. And it's mostly about challenging yourself to do those things. But you do it kind of as a collaborative with a team. So basically you check in every day or every week, whichever you want to do, and say, okay, this is how much fiber I spun today or whatever. And so it's really fun and exciting. There are actually teams and team captains can come up with their own challenges throughout the course of this thing. And so this is stuff that I'm going to be maybe doing some little videos here and there on, and maybe you guys will like that stuff. So I don't know, it'll be fun. I know that the first challenge for my team is that the team captain has asked us to try to spin blindfolded, or not looking anyway, with our eyes closed. So that's going to be interesting because generally I have my eyes glued to the fiber as I'm going along. So, that'll be interesting. But I may do a little video on that because that'll be fun, But I'm hoping to have quite a bit of it done by then. And I'm actually hoping to have quite a bit of Lori's done by the end of this thing. So it's going to be really interesting, and I'd like to take you guys along for the ride so that you can see basically the process. I mean, you can see down here I've already started on some other spinning stuff, so it's a lot of fun. But anyway, so there's that. So so you guys may or may not know that my oldest daughter actually had gone back home to go to college, and she and I have been chatting, and I think I'm crossing fingers, arms, legs, toes, eyes, everything I can cross, hoping that she's going to be here on the 2nd of July. She's coming for a couple of weeks to visit. And I'm really excited about that because I'm telling y'all, man, do I miss her. It is amazing that, I never thought I was going to have kids because that's not really my thing. And then when I had kids, it was like, oh, they're going to be babies forever. And I never imagined that I was going to be the mama of a grown-up, And then now she's all grown up and she's moved away, and gosh, I miss her. So I'm really excited that she's going to be here, and it's kind of a bittersweet thing, and I never really understood how in-depth bittersweet was, that term. I never really understood it until the baby moves away, and then we see each other, because it's kind of like you're excited to see them and you enjoy the time and you want to spend time with them, but then it hurts just that much more again for them to leave again. So that kind of sucks, but that's all part of life, right? And so we've got to deal with it. But anyway, so we're just going to really enjoy the 2 weeks that she's here. So I may or may not have any videos, or if I do, I don't know. I'm gonna just say that I'm not gonna promise putting out any videos for that 2 weeks. I do plan still to do the Thursday live stream, but that may be it for the couple of weeks, just because I'm gonna be busy spending every single waking minute I can with her, because you know, I miss her. So you know, yeah, I'm seeing you guys saying Tim says his baby is 16 and Lori's baby's 22 and Sherry's baby is 30. Tim, you have 2 grandsons, 10 and 7. You know, I'll tell you. And that's the next step in things. You know, I'm too young to have a grown-up child. I never imagined myself having a grown-up child. And so now the next step is, I can't imagine being a grandma yet. And I'm certainly not old enough to be a grandma yet. Knock on wood. But, you know, yeah, I see that, you know, I could see that could be interesting. You know, it could be fun to have grandbabies. But no rushing it or anything like that now, you know. Nothing like that. But it just makes me feel old to say that, you know, I've got a baby that's 20 years old and, you know, she's old enough to have grandbabies for me. So, and I'm not old enough to be a grandma. But anyway, there's that. Yeah, exactly. Never say never. So anyway, I don't really know how many videos, if any, extras that I'll be putting out for the next couple of weeks. So if it's really quiet out here on my side of town, then you'll know why. And, you know, you guys are more than welcome, by the way, to follow our Facebook page and send us messages there or whatever. Feel free to send just a, hey, how's it going? And, you know, I check Facebook every morning when I'm drinking my coffee. So, you know, I don't mind at all to sit and chat on Facebook. So feel free to come and say hi there. But grandkids are a new source of forced labor. You know, that's funny. My youngest daughter, who's 13, she would say that that's true for her too. So, but anyway, you guys, it is after 9 o'clock, and I know that Pratt Family has already started their live stream probably. I think that they've decided to do every Thursday now, so I don't want to intrude on their time. But I really appreciate you guys coming along and hanging out with me tonight. And just want you to know that since this Google Hangouts thing is working out for me, I'm going to ditch the other system and I'm just going to do this from now on. So hopefully, it'll just be a lot easier this way. And, you know, we won't have the buffering anymore. Has it buffered at all now since I've done the Google Hangouts one? Can anybody tell me? Has it been running pretty smooth so far on this one? Yeah, I like Mike and Jenny too, Tim. They're great. I'm actually really excited to be meeting them in October. So, okay, perfect. I am really excited that there's not any buffering. So, perfect. Awesome. So I'm really sorry about that, guys. You know, I tried using that system, and hey, every system doesn't work for everybody, right? So I'll use this Google Hangouts from now on, and it'll be good. And I might see if I can get it on my phone too, because then maybe I can do live streams from somewhere else. Maybe I'll get some kind of, you know, cool background or something, so you guys aren't always seeing my office wall and the door and the cabinets and stuff. So anyway, thank you guys so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. Thank you for spending some time with us this evening. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. See you later. Bye-bye.